Okay, so I've got lots of things I want to talk about and lots of things that I, again, love that I want to review. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is something I do every day, or if I miss a day, I catch up. And it's a recommendation I have for you that no, I don't make any money off of it, but it's the Bible recap. I don't know about you. You may not have grown up in a house that honored the Lord, and that you maybe didn't go to church, but I did. And I grew up learning all of the Bible stories, and I grew up learning all of the things about who Jesus is and that he loved me. And I accepted Christ when I was 5 years old, at Awana's on a Wednesday night. I remember them having the dirty water and the clean water, and them saying, this dirty water is you and this clean water is Jesus. He lived a perfect life for you. And then they did this magic trick where they poured the clean water into the dirty water, and it made the dirty water clean. And I'll never forget it. And then they said, if you want to ask Jesus to be a part of your life and ask him into your heart, now is the time. And I remember repeating that prayer. So that's the moment that I accepted Christ. And again, I grew up in a household that loved Jesus. We were at church a lot. I learned a lot about the Bible, and I'm grateful for that. But you know what I never did? And I felt guilty about it for forever. I never actually read the whole Bible through. I mean, like many of us, we might get to, Exodus or Leviticus. You have all of this good intention, and on January 1st, I'm going to read through the Bible this year. And then it doesn't happen, because once you get to in the middle of it, again, like you might be sitting in Leviticus or Numbers, and it gets boring and you don't relate to it. And so you quit, right? Life's busy and you still love Jesus. You just didn't make it through the Bible for another year. So that's pretty much been my life story. And I'll do all of the Bible studies, and we were in a church for a long time, which I love, that like we spent 5 years in Romans. I know Romans really, really well, but I'd never read through the whole Bible. And a friend introduced the Bible recap to me a couple years ago. I was like, okay, great, that's for you. And then I finally stopped and I did it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And I fell in love with it. It's a system, it's a routine that really helps me. And if I miss it, it's not the end of the world. I can get caught up. There are seasons of life where I am in Bible studies, and I've got a lot to do to get ready for the Bible study or prep for a message at church. I do stuff with the kids at church. So I can't always get into like the nitty-gritty of reading about the genealogy like on those days, but I can always get caught back up. And so it's called the Bible Recap, and it is in the Bible app. And I highly recommend just trying it. Start in the New Testament and try it if you have never read through the Bible before. Again, I'm almost 42. And up until 2 years ago, I'd never read through the Bible before. Well, 3 years ago is when I started the journey. It took me a year and a half to read through the Bible with the Bible Recap my first time. I would get behind in the summer because a routine was off, and then I'd get back on and I caught up. And my first year took a year and a half. The next time, it only took me like right over a year. I stayed pretty close on track the whole time. And so this year I'm doing the same thing, and I'm plugging away and I'm getting through the Bible, and I think I'm a day behind right now, which is great. I can catch up with a day. So I highly recommend the Bible Recap with Tara Lee Cobble. Then you can go on to, your podcast or Podbean or wherever, and you can listen to what she has to say about it. And she is phenomenal of laying out the Bible and God's plan of just his big plan for this world and for you and for me. She does such a good job of that. So down in the notes, you're going to see my recommendation for the Bible Recap. And then Tara Lee Cobble also recommends that you use Podbean for the least amounts of like downloading glitches, those types of things. So I'll put that in there as well. But get started. It's okay. It took me a year and a half to get through my first Bible reading at age 39. So you could be 12, you could be 25, you could be 85, but this is a great time to try to read the whole Bible. It changes the way you see things when you see the overarching theme of God's love story for us. So go check it out, the Bible Recap. That's what I recommend today.